Hello everyone, ShapeSnatchX here. In this video I will present you the Chinese archetype. The Chinese archetype was first introduced in June 2023 and has since received one additional wave of support. Let's start with the monsters. Chinese Ruler Shi. If Beijing is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Chinese Ruler Shi once per turn this way. The original ATK of this card is equal to 400x the number of Chinese spells/traps that are banished or in your GY. You can destroy one other card you control or in your hand, and if you do, add one Chinese spell/trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effective Chinese Ruler Shi once per turn. Chinese Ruler Mao. You can discard this card, add one Beijing from your deck or GY to your hand. If Beijing you control would be destroyed by card effect, you can banish this card from your GY instead. You can only use each effective Chinese Ruler Mao once per turn. Chinese Pangolin. If this card is normal summoned, you can banish one China or Chinese card from your deck. If this card is in your GY while you control no monsters, you can banish one other China or Chinese monster in your GY, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effective Chinese Pangolin once per turn. Chinese Kung Fu Panda. If you control a face-up Chinese monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Chinese Kung Fu Panda once per turn this way. During your main phase, you can set one Bamboo Sword spell from your deck or GY. You can only use this effective Chinese Kung Fu Panda once per turn. Gains 200 ATK for each monster your opponent controls. Chinese Professor. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can declare a level from 1 to 6, the level of all Chinese monsters you currently control become the declared level, also you can only special summon once from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. You can only use each effective Chinese Professor once per turn. Pooh Bear. This bear is addicted to honey. Chinese Ruler Shi Pooh. Chinese Ruler Shi plus Pooh Bear. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can set one Chinese trap from your deck or GY. Unaffected by the effects of Synchro, XYZ, and Link monsters. Quick effect: you can banish one China or Chinese card from your GY. This card gains 300 ATK for each monster your opponent controls until the end of this turn. If this card in its owner's control is destroyed or banished by an opponent's card effect, you can target one monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. You can only use each effective Chinese Ruler Shi Pooh once per turn. Horror Pooh. Pooh Bear +1 non-tuner monsters. If this card is synchro summoned, destroy one monster on the field, and if you do, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. During your main phase, you can target one monster in each GY, banish them. Gains 100 ATK for each banished monster. You can only use each effective Horror Pooh once per turn. Chan, Chinese Champion. 2 level 6 monsters, including a Chinese monster. If this card is XYZ summoned, the ATK/def of all monsters your opponent currently controls become 500. If this card attacks, at the end of the damage step, you can detach one material from this card. This card can attack an opponent's monster again in a row. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell/trap cards and monster effects until the end of the damage step. You can only use each effective Chan, Chinese Champion, once per turn. Chinese Tiger. 2+ Chinese, Beast, and/or Beast Warrior monsters. If you control Beijing, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's effect activations. If this card is Link summoned, you can target one Link monster in either GY. This card gains ATK equal to that target's ATK until the end of this turn. You can banish one Chinese monster from your field or GY, destroy one card your opponent controls. You can only use each effective Chinese Tiger once per turn. That does it for the monsters. Now it's time for the spells and traps. Beijing. This card is always treated as a China card. When this card is activated, you can add one Chinese monster from your deck to your hand. Your opponent cannot activate monster effects in response to the effects and activations of your Chinese spells/traps. You can only activate one Beijing per turn. Chinese Fusion. Fusion summon one Chinese fusion monster from your extra deck, using 2 monsters from your hand, deck, or field as fusion material. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck, except China, Chinese, and Fu monsters, the turn you activate this card. You can only activate 1 Chinese fusion per turn. Chinese reception. Reveal 1 other Chinese or China card in your hand, activate one of these effects. Add 1 Chinese fusion from your deck to your hand. Target 1 Chinese ruler sheep or Pooh Bear in your GY, special summon it, but it has its effects negated, if any, and if you do, immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon 1 dark synchro monster using only monsters you control as materials, including the summoned monster. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the GY, you can banish this card from your GY, then target one of your banished Chinese cards, except Chinese reception, place it on the bottom of the deck, then draw 1 card. You can only use each effect of Chinese reception once per turn. Chinese Tomb. Target 1 Chinese monster in your GY, add it to your hand. You can only activate 1 Chinese Tomb per turn. Chinese Censorship. When a spell card, or monster effect is activated while you control a face-up China or Chinese card, the activated effect becomes your opponent gains 1000 LP. If this card is banished from the deck or field, add 1 Chinese spell/trap from your deck to your hand, except Chinese Censorship. You can only use this effect of Chinese Censorship once per turn. Chinese Firewall. Chinese monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's spell and trap effects. Once per turn, during your standby phase, pay 1000 LP or destroy this card. If this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 Firewall monster from your extra deck. You can only use this effect of Chinese Firewall once per turn. Chinese Great Wall. All Chinese monsters you control gain 1000 DEF. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can pay 500 LP, negate the attack. If this card is banished from the deck or field, you can target 1 Chinese or China card in your GY, add it to your hand. You can only use each effect of Chinese Great Wall once per turn. Alright. Well, all of the cards taken care of, let's get over some combos. First combo, Chinese Fusion. Activate Chinese Fusion, fusion summon Chinese ruler Shipu. Effect Shipu, set Chinese Censorship from your deck. Second combo, Chinese Pandolin plus Chinese Fusion. Normal summon Pandolin, banish Chinese Censorship from your deck. Effect Censorship, add Chinese Firewall to your hand. Set Firewall. Activate Chinese Fusion, fusion summon Chinese ruler Shipu. Effect Shipu, set Censorship from your deck. Third combo, Water Enchantress plus Chinese Fusion plus 1 card in hand. Banish Water Enchantress from your hand to add Rite of Aramasir to your hand. Activate Rite of Aramasir, special summon Adventurer token, place Faithful Adventure from your deck. Effect Faithful Adventure, send 1 card from the hand to the GY, add Griffin Rider to your hand. Special summon Griffin Rider from your hand. Activate Chinese Fusion, fusion summon Chinese ruler Shipu. Effect Shipu, set Chinese Censorship from your deck. Fourth combo, Water Enchantress plus Beijing plus Chinese Fusion plus 1 card in hand. Banish Water Enchantress from your hand to add Rite of Aramasir to your hand. Activate Rite of Aramasir, special summon Adventurer token, place Faithful Adventure from your deck. Effect Faithful Adventure, send 1 card from the hand to the GY, add Griffin Rider to your hand. Special summon Griffin Rider from your hand. Activate Chinese Fusion, fusion summon Chinese ruler Shipu. Effect Shipu, set Chinese Censorship from your deck. Activate Beijing, add Chinese ruler Shi to your hand. Special summon Shi from your hand. Effect Shi, destroy Faithful Adventure, add Chinese Firewall to your hand. Set Firewall,